Greetings to you all. I'm your host, Milan Rukozo, aka Mrs. M. Thank you so much for joining us. Women's Day in South Africa is celebrated every year in August, in remembrance of the march that women undertook in 1956, where they went to Union Building to protest and march against the proposed amendment to the Urban Areas Act, or pass laws as they were commonly known. You strike a woman, you strike a rock. That's basically what they were saying. It is very important for us to celebrate Women's Day because it takes us back to where we come from. It also gives us an opportunity to educate the new generation and also for us to speak about issues that affect women. And when you look around, one of the major issues that women have to undergo on their daily basis is that they have to explain their marital status. Today we are joined by 3 incredible women who are here to share their own experience. Thank you so much, Queen of the Main House, for inviting us. Over to you.
Abshedi, welcome all of you. Laga, Queen of the Main House. Normally every year when we celebrate women, we do indoor picnic, La Giardini, where we invite women with different topics so that we can discuss the fundamental of life. But because of this pandemic, we decided to the indoor, the intimate one, na Sis Lydia and then na Patricia Mnene. Back to you, Sis Melanie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for a warm welcome in your house. We're so happy to be here as we celebrate Women's Day. Yes, we're celebrating ourselves. We are important. We're having a conversation around the hashtag I am not my marital status. Oftentimes, women are being judged according to their marital status. I'll pose the question to the Queen of the Main House. What is your view on this topic? I am not my marital status. What does this mean to you?
It's true. I cannot be judged because of my marital status, because I have to make a name for myself before the marriage, you know. And then if I'm married, it's something that it's a cherry. For me, it's a cherry on top. Because as much as I believe in a marriage, Mara, it doesn't define who Egi is. If we remove the marriage, Egi still stands as Egi. That's what my take. Take Yamina Kore. Nothing can define me because of my marital status.
So I just want to know from your background, since you are married, do you get like a different treatment from the society because you're wearing a ring?
Of course, the society like back differently. It's like you are labeled as you have arrived. Background because nakale lokukuma ukuma uachieve swim abata uachieve njani unanona was to say so lokungarinanona it means akufanelange uachieve. So it's treatment, it's a stereotype treatment, like a belief yakuri lokurunanwanona you have to be treated differently than one satilanga nwanona naleka our society lokuyingena tikerekeni people they consider you babi negative position because of you married was to say so. And which is unfair. What if my calling is not what I'm supposed to say, like was to say so. So people they'll always like judge you or treat you differently. And so it benefit that and get this.
So you only get so you only get a positive judgment, or you also, because me and myself I'm married and because I'm young, people look at me like, okay, she's weak. Okay, why get married at your age, and all that. So, from like, do you get a negative connotation around your marriage, being a married woman nowadays?
At first, like, you know, maybe probably same age as yours, but are you okay to be called whatever? Because people, they can say whatever they want, whether you get married at a later stage, whether you get married young, you know, but they'll always have this negative vibe, you know. But if you believe in what you have settled in, it's your belief. Why do you have to worry about life or society towards what you believe in, you know? So like my thing if nithemba kashona kuri mchato walo wantirela I must close my ears and open my eyes, focus on what I'm blessed with.
So it was your choice, and
It's a choice. It's a choice. Yes.
So I'll just pose this question to Sesi. Wena, what is your opinion around this topic? Are you your marriage status?
Look, it's a reality. Unfortunately, that's how the society has chosen to define a woman. And the society has chosen to degrade a single woman. It's like their expectations, because a particular age, you must be married because something is missing. The society has chosen to degrade a divorced woman. To an extent that in actual fact the other day, I don't know of a Tsonga word for a divorced man. I actually know of a divorced woman. So we and it's so entrenched into the fiber of the society so badly that they have to subscribe to that. And the fact of the matter is the reality today doesn't really allow for that to exist anymore. That's why we have confusion, that's why we have the high divorce rate and all of these things, because we have taken a patriarchal system, a imposer in an environment where things are changing. And what exactly do I mean by that? Because you were expected to be dependent on a man. So immediately you dependent to someone else, and where is that someone else? Is your father, is home. So
and you're not welcome.
Exactly. So women are doing it for themselves.
Yes.
So look at divorce, so why do you still call this person Chivuya? It's not relevant anymore. So yes, we are defined by our marital status, but we really it's something that we need to demystify. It's something that we need to kill and destroy. And it is this generation of women that must start doing that for the generation that is coming after us.
I like your opinion. I really like it.
Yes, thank you. I just want to concur na Sis Lydia, because we find ourselves in wrong places because of the definition of the society. Remember, loko ungena abgadini, sometimes suka kunga choice yawe. Bangwan ko ba ko pressure. Yeleka the society. And even at Kerekeni, you know, because Vasorvamina, they're Christians. And then therefore, if I didn't take you out of the wedlock, there will be a name that will be given. Really. Understand? If pressure they back when you're gone, late to come you're gone. One, even the parents they define Korvana, Locoso Udundili, if I never take Wakamotokas. Were you prepared to go to that family?
No.
Do you know them enough? Yeah. Do you love them? Say, loko ukela ulangutana kambe, loko se utaba makoti. Udefine yini based on the culture of the man. I can't remember if ever I'm married to a person who is from the other cultural background. And only 20% of my culture. Even you want to be a complete makoti ka society yabona. Bathala bakutshamisa hansi. Bakucinca leswo ungashisona. Mente ni repeat ni complete. Nite ni complete. And then I just want to complete myself in that marriage. And then somebody now wants me to compromise for this marriage, for this surname. Sho sungula mfana nchinja xivongo. Ni vula ku loko ni nga cincangi xivongo, nge nghena kerekeni. You could the first person, yes. The first person, loko munhu akuvutisa, loko u waka maluleke. Okay, fine, it's complete. Unwa mani. Nuku ni nwa maluleke. Itekwe ka maluleke, iba nwa maluleke. Subula ko I'm not complete loko ni nwa maluleke. Ni vule xivongo xa mina. How? Waphoza munhu. Dzilo mitsanda vukati. Ivuhlamula ku ri a ni nge si tshama ni nghena ka byona. Balo minyenya. That's the question that you get. That is a big discrimination. Loko ungena ekerekeni la unga ta nghena kona. Phela switulu swin'wanyana a hi nga ta nyika lava va nga tekiwangiki hikuva a va nga ta kota ku hi khoma.
it's I think
ene ku va na a loss kwalano ene leswi se hi dyondzisaka na vana va hina laha tikerekeni ku ri loko u ta yima laha mahlweni i fanele i va i vitaniwa va manana swimanimani na sweswi u ta vitaniwa manana swimanimani because ku na that expectation ku ri loko u tshamile ka laha ka xitulu lexiwa u fanele u va u ri manana swimanimani
and to come in there
Yes.
vanhu va tshama ka switulu leswi a kha swi tiva ku ri there is no marriage but for the fact ya ku ri society yi define buyena hi mhaka ya marital status
You just
wa
want to be
tshama
accepted.
wa kondelela you know there's so many women they go to church weeping like ba kha ba ri bruised inside but because of that thing ya ku ri society bantu bane re Mrs. Mabele I have to you know pull myself together and pretend as if everything is okay you know
and you know coming over loko hi ri hina vatswari ni nga vula ku ri it's like we need to change our mindset a swi vula ku loko ni ri na n'wana wa nhwanyana se ni fanele ni n'wi xavisa ivi ni tlhela ni n'wi vutisa ku ri kasi ku humelela yini hi vutomi bya wena i choice ya yena yaleyo hi leswi a swi tsakelaka leswiya swa ku fana na khale ku ri a ni vona le ka swimanimani ni vona jara kona nga ku na vona va hlayisekile se na wena swi nga ku wo ya ku ti-pension kwalaya wa swi twisisa a yi choice ya wena ene leswi swi ni karhataka hi swona sweswiyaku ku na loko se mi fikile a tindhawini i huma kwini loyi ngopfungopfu loko i huma hala joni vele joni a ri hana vukati swi vula ku vavanuna va hina a va hlayisekangi
you're a threat
you're a threat exactly and ni la ku vuya ka timhaka letiya ta ku hina vavasati loko hi tlhela hi addressana futhi mari tiva vito ra mina ni Mnene ingaku Mnene luya wa Xivuya wena a wu se va Xivuya kambe u Xivuya you are not aware of it ncato wena khale wu herile kambe hi ku u chava ku huma hikuva u chava vito leriya wanuna u nghena ka ngane a huma a mucatweni ku hava vito leri a vitaniwa they are not judged
So, but by saying this, I just want to ask, isn't it like when you say that you are not your marital status, does it put you in a situation whereby it seems like you are now being negative about marriage?
No, I'm not.
Would you advise somebody to get married?
Na mina na byi lava kahle na la ku ya nghena futhi lexi xi tsakisaka ku ri me a ni leswa swa society a ku na bulletin board leyi nga tsariwa ku ri age limit leyi la ku vanhu va ni komba ku ri namuntlha age limit yiwe me loko ku ve nkarhi luya a swi nge se va ready a swi vula ku ri kumbexana ni lo phuphuruka nkarhi wa mina a ku ri luwa ku ri ni nghena hi nkarhi luwa exactly kona ni nga ta kuma no ncato says hi ta ku ngheneni ku ri rini hayi a swi hi age kwalayo
I tell people Kore, you can lose the title ya bu Mrs. any day anytime you can lose the title but the person that must remain is the queen you know if you have built your life your future Kore, you are a queen of the main house I mean if it's Lydia who's built her name, she has built her name for herself. If she decides like Lydia still remains. What to say? Mara like she zanda ikure mina ngibona ku susotala it's self-hate between women. We hate each other so much. Lero naloko munhu angari na n'wana you call them by their name. Ina ingahlwela kukuma bana at the age of 29, you know, asawulwa ku unyumba au bebula.
And mostly it's women
who judge, you know. And like so one like I always encourage women, let's embrace each other. You know, if you can embrace another woman, let's fix each other's crown. Like lokungari right, hi sis Lydia, anhleketa kuri lipstick amito tamkali. Rather kuri criticize and show off about yena. You know,
and now say you can only be friends with people who are married.
I just want to come in again, says Mina. Look, what is the name of the one that left up? Ha, it's a shit. Oh, you. Oh, you're among chippies. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to Very Mina. It's my uniqueness. I was going to invest in it. Family one. And then look takamati. How tama na mina unitwa ku ri ni wesa vungani Khegule yaluya. Mata ko milava to milamleni. Oh, mo vela mo ku 20,000. Anu wati 20,000. Ah, investment ikakusomzameni.
So ladies, I just want to understand something here. So the value of a woman in marriage is no longer about that she's a virgin, that she can do house chores,
No.
that she can be able to take care of mama's and stuff like that.
Absolutely not.
No.
So it's all about what you bring to the table.
Yes.
as
In
well.
actual fact, my view and my observation, the woman builds the brand. She brings far much more worth to whoever she gets into union with than any person can ever imagine. Ukota kuyima monti because of the woman. Ukota kuba uvana shindruti monti because of a woman. A very sound and sensible woman. Angata umala handle afama and hang the dirty linen out there. Instead, they will find a way to build kukula uteka kuba right. So it goes far beyond virginity. It goes far beyond that, and it's something that we need to kind of reprogram the thinking of the society and the understanding, because confusion it is exactly what you have just mentioned. Belief liya, but the reality is absolutely totally different.
You know another thing yakuri baba sati ba skota kuti khoma ba riboshe. You find one sati alobero inona asalena bana, but it still remains whole. Kuba warm kamuti aloy was to say mara kuma la kungaloba baba kuselena bana. We're not saying we're judging them, but because that's where we have impact. It's big. It cannot be measured with anything, because lakungana wansati kuna direction, lakungana wansati utharia kuna order, lakungana wansati utharia kuna kuaka. You know, uhleketela mahlweni. If wanuna akunika mali akuya gruza, you turn that money to be a meal.
Yes.
You know, that's how women operate. They change. Like if wanuna atana na vision ya yena, we incubate it and bring it to life. You know, like that's what defines a woman. So a marital status, it cannot define who Egi is. It cannot define the queen of the main house. It's only something that is given, like it's prescribed, so that na loku in that application but for Mrs. Man so like una dependent young one nuna, but it will never open opportunities takuri unga jondangi ibuya uyakuma directorship because so tiriswa Mrs. Tirashkolo.
So yeah, you just have to build your own brand.
And again, says me loko yena iteta ane yena ba future mama zakhe se loko makoti afika I brand ya la motini kama I brand yakho ya kamati I weakness ya yena liya ya kamati anu embrace it is a tender la kaya na vana va la kaya va ta kota ku cinca na xivongo va ta kota ku ri va ya mahlweni na education leswi swa ku yimbelela ku ri uzosiphekela siwaxela va nga tlhela mathenda exactly ku ri n'wana vanhu loko mwasisa ku ri leswi futhi swa karata hi le dyondzeni ka vana va vanhwanyana ku ri hina va kwala kaya hi tshamile n'wana wa vanhu a ya pfuka hi 4:30 n'wina mi tlele mina a ni swi koti ku sweka vuswa hi poto a ni na rona poto lerikulu kambe loyi a nga kona a kaya a swi kota ku sweka a ni pfuni wasisisa let us embrace makoti as an individual person. Let us support her. Loko ve yena potential ya yena I ku va a kota ku ri a organizer swilo swi tshama kaya a hi n'wi supporteni hi ku hinkwerhu hi ta tikuma hi hlayisekile xivongo xa hina xi ta ya mahlweni a ni hi tsakela hi swona leswi swi tsakelaka ku ri hey phela laha ka swimanimani ene loko a heta I brand hi xona xivongo xa la kaya a hi n'wi supporteni swinene ene hi pfuna nakona laha kaya ku ri muti wa laha kaya wu ta pfuka wu nga pfuki hi ku kukula nampundzu laha wu susa maphepha wu yisa le loko ve nampundzu i fanele a famba a hi n'wi lunghiseleni movha a ni ri hina hi swi kota hi swi tiva ku ri i ya kwini a ta vuya na maphepha a ta kota ku tisa mintirho phela ene the society is growing the society is growing
ni hleketa ku age leyi mi nga ka yona so level ya n'we ya ku understand ku makoti i different mara lavan'wanyana lavakulu ka n'we
No, like I made I don't want to tell you lies. 21 for the past 21 years, Nisweka Ishpotwan Shutan, Gabo Nuno Amin, and because of Mani Munwashkali, she's 85, but she allows me for Niba Mina, you know. So it's just a blessing on its own. Lokunyeka Bonuno Amina, I'm not expected for Nisweka Magalaza.
But you know the stereotype. Loko mi fika le, na loko mi nga fika nka mamazala wa n'wina, maybe ku ri na ntlangu. Obviously they're gonna expect you to.
And na loko hi kuma ku ri le kaya la ku nga na mitlangu hi vona va tlhela ku va ni tshamisana va ku lowani i makoti wa mina wa tiva so she protects me i timhaka ta ku ri a hi va protecteni vana lava va tekiwaka lava va taku amitini ya hina so because loko hi nga va protective ulolo hanjani always everyone utava henhla ka munhu yalowo and like ko tala ya ti prove so la ku mbarisiwa swichalani la ku endliwa yini n'wana wa vanhu se i mukhegulu
utela u hlamba mara un'wa hlambi ngopfu
and i lava va squeeze swona swi tshamile swilongo va ku silambile wena fanele u yendla title ya wena ya doctor na
u yi veka
hansi so u kombiwa ku amagalazini
and to come in loko hi vulavula hi sweswo a hi vulavuli ku ri hi lahla ndhavuko wa hina a hi vuli ku ri hi endlela ku ri ku nga ha vi na xichavo emutini kambe loko ni fika a swi endleki ku ri munhu a tiva hi swilo hinkwaswo leswiya swa ku makoti i fanele a ya koroka ivi i sungula i kukula i na ti-chronic disease I'm asthmatic ni na bronchitis a ni koti dust a no tendlisa musi wa ni tlimba a ni ti endlisa a no tonga xitanga a ni xi chavi kambe ni chava musi ni kombela mi swi twisisa kwalani xitanga a ni chavi xitanga ni xi rhandza ngopfu futhi xi horile kambe no chava ntsena musi se ni kombela ku ri ni nga vi incomplete makoti hikuva ni nga koti ku pfurhetela ndilo hi leswi swi nga ta endla ku ri yena emamazalelo ni nga ta ka yena a tlhela a ku ya loko tsandzekana ku pfurhetela ndilo i ta byi kandza vukati lebyi swi vula ku ri vukati bya mina byi determine hi ndilo
it's a problem loko mi tekiwa ka muti luwa ku very expectations it's all about what you can do in the kitchen so and loko ku ve we are good at kitchen then it's gonna be a problem so sesemnene ni mi twa mention mhaka yin'wanyana important ngopfu ku a tikerekeni vanhu lava va nga tekiwa with the ring and the title va nyikiwa switulu swa le henhla so now I just want to know ku loko se munhu a tekiwini a ri kerekeni mara a fika ka a point ya ku enough is enough, my marriage is not working and decides to divorce, kereke yi muteka njhani loko swi fika kwalano?
It's a very important and extremely controversial question. There is nothing as brainwashing the mind of the society as a religion. And there's nothing as dangerous as the misinterpretation of scriptures. Itikuma irina vavasati lava nga tshama avukatini vari vakreste because of the church, what the church says and all of this thing. So I think what is very important to note is divorce was never God's intention. I have spoken it here. Marriage, it's God's intention. It's God's design. So we are not bashing the union that is marriage. But we also need to make it very clear because divorce however, it has become a concession because of our sinful nature. It has become something that God acknowledges gore sitawumelela because of a sinful nature yabana bamina. And ayilangutisi makaleya concession accurately, which is the most dangerous thing. He misinterpreted the scriptures. So there are two grounds where divorce is allowed. And I quoted the scriptures today, what those grounds are. The first ground is adultery. Divorce is allowed in adultery. And so is I think it's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 31 to 32. Other divorce has been misinterpreted a lot in the Old Testament. Deuteronomy from chapter 24 verse 1 what they used to do. In that scripture, if a man finds the wife unclean, you can divorce her as long as you give her a certificate of divorce. Now, what is unclean? Can we, when you understand what is unclean? So now I'm love with this papa someone else now. So no, she hasn't found favor anymore in my eyes. Therefore, I'm divorcing you. And that's what has put a lot of women in difficulties. The extramarital affairs, unnecessary divorce, and misinterpretation of scriptures.
So, patriarchy,
patriarchy, it started with a misinterpretation and religion. We need to ask religion because the religion of Islam, you will find it. We are what the African religion, you find it. We are Judaism, you find it. We are Christianity, you find it. Oh, I am atheist, I don't believe in any of you, you find it. It's just a man design to subjugate women. Full stop. And Mina, I believe the religion that is so liberating to women is the Christian religion. And I'll tell you why I mean that. Loko Mishaya, that scripture, Matthew 5. This is where Jesus Christ was actually correcting the Old Testament. Was explained, and then logo and in Aswana in Nakamaganzela so therefore me oswili mara mina nokulamsawa nsati you know, we have that. He was correcting that. And in that scripture, we tend to misinterpret it a lot. It's a powerful scripture for women, that particular scripture. Shiri in scripture, and she quoted verbatim. Mara scripture shiri, you are allowed to divorce only if there's adultery. So if a man divorces a woman other than adultery, it's a sin.
Okay.
You said, she a man. And then she much way scripture when our nuna look when we divorce other than adultery, we have caused that woman to sin. The sin doesn't land to you as a woman. It's that man
who is causing
and why does the man cause it to sin? Because it is given, you are going to remarry as a woman. It's a given. So don't marry. No. It's a given we are going to remarry. Where was that? You are not, you have got no sin. In actual fact, where one you are carrying sins of 3 people. The sin that you divorce this woman other than adultery, that's sin number 1. The sin that you have caused this woman the pain. Because I take that context where this thing was written. Women were dependent. So it was non someone else. So you can never expect this woman who's supposed to depend on a man to be staying by herself. Someone must come and take care of this woman. So where this nonsensely, you're
bearing the sin.
You're bearing the sin. You are also going to bear the sin of the man who's going to marry the sin. You are also going to bear the sin of the man. You know. So when I'm saying the system that we live in, it's adultery after adultery after adultery on the basis of all of these things because of one person. That's ground number 1. The second ground You want it's very debatable. It's called the Pauline privilege. The second ground is found on 1 Corinthians, is it chapter 7, verse 15. The Pauline privilege is a ground that says you can divorce someone, the other one is the unbeliever.
Oh.
But it doesn't
Not
say
equally
it doesn't necessarily say you can just blatantly divorce the person. It says if the two parties we were unbelievers. In the marriage, one I convert, I become a Christian. And then the husband says, Mara, I will stay with you. As long as the other party is comfortable to stay with me, I'm not interfere in faith.
Yeah,
We're good.
Okay.
But if the other party feels good, you know, the other party is free to walk away.
Okay.
And then in those circumstances, you are under no bondage. Akuna now you are free. Why is it the Pauline privilege? Because it's the one of the teachings that Paul. It was him now saying, and we tend to misinterpret or we ignore those scriptures. No divorce, none whatsoever. Those are the two grounds where you can actually divorce. And look at in the way I've unpacked them, they actually give power to a woman. You can remarry.
And you walk free.
You find what did you do wrong?
And the fact that I'm hearing this for the first time, it shows that nothing that favors women is being broadcasted.
No, no. The system has been designed to actually subjugate you as a woman. That's why no kupreachiwa kutatsaula ti scriptures letiya tingata oppress our side. Elevator letiya lawanuna. Then it knocks your self-esteem. It makes you doubt. It makes you hate being a woman, which is not what we are for. We know it's like this thing must change. We cannot continue. It's just not sustainable.
And I just want to come to what Lydia is saying. As a society, I think it's also if I exchange. Kufanana leswiya ani kaneti munhu n'wana na n'wana ina xivongo xa yena a swi ta olovisa ku ri na loko se ni vitaniwe xivuya xi va xi nga cincangi xivongo ni tshame na xona xivongo lexiya xa ka Maluleke
Swa le vukatini.
i wa ntana ni teka xivongo xin'wanyana n'wana na n'wana a tshame na xivongo xa yena ene sweswo swi olovisa na timhaka ta yena swa ti-title loko se hi nghena tikerekeni ku ri i manana ximanimani a ni vi manana hi xivongo xa mina a ni vi manana hi age group yo karhi leyi ni nga nghena ka yona ni nga vi manana hi timhaka ta nsimbi liya yi nga hoxiwa laya a ni vi manana because now se ni le ka part ya maturity a ni vi manana because I'm matured I qualify ku va ni ri manana hikuva kumbexana ni ri ka age yo karhi wa swi twisisa a swi ta hi olovisela hi ku sweswiwani loko se ni divorce ni ya tlhelela ka xivongo xa mina vanhu va sungula ku honoka va sungula ku honoka sweswo a swi ta hi olovisela swinene
I think the prevention of the divorce ku seketela leswi va swi vulaka sweswi and that's the mistake that we make hi lava ku preventa divorce when we are married and la hi ringetaka ku hi lava ku preventa divorce just before we get married. You prevent divorce the day you reach the age of dating.
How?
Whether you start at 15 or whatever, that's where your mind must be. I want to prevent divorce. How? We need, there's this scripture that I like. The Queen of the Main House. The scripture, Leshingo, do not throw your holies to the dogs. Look, the Queen of the Main House, people must go and read Matthew chapter 7 verse 6. They will understand what she's trying to say. She said, do not throw your holies to the dogs, nor your pearls to the pigs. what does it mean? Loko or decent. Kumbu wanuna kumbu wansati at that particular age. Respect yourself. There are some people who by nature, by design, they are just pigs and dogs. There is absolutely nothing you can do about it. So let us not go and hunt for projects at a very young age, because we are now setting a trend for ourselves. Loko ikula, that's what we are going to do. Marriage does not change. It will never change who you are. It accentuates your characteristics. Loko wena, you are someone who's abusive. Loko wa date, you are a closet abuser. Loko sometimes it will accentuate what you are. So when I was during dating and they say no. Be ready for abusive marriage. So we need to educate our children. You are holy. You are a pearl. Have that in the top of your mind wherever you are going, and ensure that whoever you associate yourself with is as holy as you are. Because if you are going to degrade yourself, what they will do, those dogs and those people, they will trample on your pearls. And when they are done trampling on their pearls, they will turn around and they will rend you apart.
You know,
sorry to come in again, Queen of the main house. Cecily Diaba makata age of maturity. And I should realize for Cecily Dia. Look, I carry kula, over financially independent, uyanele again. Even Okukashwembo, here I am, Nimwana wawe. Shiva Shiku Twili. Shiva Shiku Twili. And I have to ignore her most of the time. And Shiva is selfish. He go in Carwalo. Shiva she won't cool for the future. I want to even though I never like a date, I need consultant with my God.
So dating phase is important.
Exactly, because loko ningene ni mwana shwembo. Ni tamba ka shwembo. Loko sungula ni data, antenala ngi tekela ti decision. Ngeni bolebula na shwembo. Ku relation ni swona ko intiso na. Loko ba ku nga intiso. Kona that instinct that we ignore. And loko so usungula ku sola. Ila ufanele ku uthelela andako. Because you are deceived by love. Ukuno ayisona nangena.
And kuba
ku riboni. Lero komba ku nwananga. La ungena ku kona. Ayilani ku lava ku kona. Believe you me, ntangena angatathanga. Ntawuma either way. Ntawuma. You can consultant. And it's going. But at the end of the day, she don't always lie. Kore she sweka. Kore la lo atako. She don't stop from back. She don't stop. Tabantundi. And another ningele kayena angele kunswekeni. Anonkwatele. Lokho angata siwa kundlela leyinja. And then the next time ngiyathinta khona ngiyasungula ngena akhoneni ni bati scripture letiya loko isungula ku ri na kusola nyana ku ri maseve nga ku la va hi ba nhloko la hi ve tlhelela ndhawu swi swa tshamiseka.
So loko ya ri ka mhaka ti red flags,
yes,
sesi vo va nga sungula,
yes,
dating phase is important and you have to look out for the red flags, and if for the one you have to go back. So now we talk about the queen of main house. Because you are the missus. Loko yini procedure leyi nga tirhisa ku mi cheka ti red flags na ku va mi tiva ku he is the one.
You know, you'll never know who he's the one. Because when you date a person, you're dating a fake person that date. The reality of a matter, it starts when now you start staying together. Remember, look how me date. Me wanna 90 terms. Takure. On tatanda kubona munhu angeti ka atakubona alahlele masokisa hansi ku ri ta sungula ku adopa sweswo u ta swidyondza ku ri u lahlela masokisa hansi se mi kha mi tshama hinkwenu. So but what do? Like xikulu xa important i ku ri you teach people how to treat you. Mina that's what like lexi ni survivisaka ka these 21 years ku ri I've set my rules ku ri baby u ni veka voko or rintiho ntsena I'm gone.
Mara swi koho leswi va nga swi endla before mi tekana swa ku mi swi ignora and say I will fix this person?
No, because I like unkume se ni ri matured, you know, unkume ni ri matured ya ku ri I was now ni ti byela ku I'm ready to I know the tricks ta vafana, because loko ni byela ku ri okay people loko u langutisa va vele wa hayi lo one u vele a nghena ka mabele. No, I cannot be ni holy was to say ni vele ni tekiwa ni ri virgin. I've been there even ni hlaya ngqondo ya mfana even okay this is how they even loko say na data even umbyela ku ri these are the do's and don'ts and he stick to that, because at the end at the misseleni and then believe you me na sweswi ha na ti rules teto ku ri if he can catch me cheating, non-negotiable, I pack my bags and go. If I find him cheating, he packs and leave because he has break our union. So isule fanele ku hina hiri bambiri hinga twanana so. If one neighbor so kungana gender based violence, I cannot stay now when I neighbor because namunhla rinti umntu ku ishbam or ishbage, you know. So isule swingataka inga skondele so as much as nchaton kanuranda, but I still have to respect who Egi is. I still have to love who Egi is.
So mara shule unko sifana shule during
yes. So
you don't wait for marriage and then you start addressing issues.
Can I come in again? Kuna vanuna van'wanyana lava va nga desperate a nga endla xin'wana na xin'wanyana lexi u n'wi byelaka xona a nga endla xin'wana na xin'wanyana ene munhu yaloye a ni na yena ku na past yena se i lava ku lunghisa past yena hi wena xin'wana na xin'wana lexi u n'wi byelaka xona ivi a pfumela ene loko u languta hina vavasati handla ku justify ko va ntiyiso na loko kumbexana va ri kona lava va onaka vavasati va na rirhandzu swinene ene hi teka nkarhi ku rivalela ni ta taka hi yona yaleyo wa twisisa se na loko se a sungula manje a karhi a ku xisaxisa a wu swi voni u vona a ri complete u vona a ri complete ene va pfala hi hambi tintangu a nga polichi mara loko a ta ka wona a ti polichi a ni byerili a ni wa vula ene futhi lexi mina xi ni tsakisaka ka ti-date hi yena hi vulavulaka ngopfu
mara ku humesiwe wena
I want an ideal man a ku ideal man hi lowa njhani a ku mina ni lalowa wa skinny jean a ya xava ti-skinny jean timbirhi ntsena hi ti-weekend leti a nga ta ku vona hi tona.
Because respect is a very broad statement. There's only respect ka wena. Ka mina it may not really be my definition of respect. So you need to say respect means this and that and that and that to me. Love means that and that and that and to me. Some people PDA is a good thing. Public display of affection. For some people, neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter to me. And we need to be careful not to provide for and it happens when you don't know who you are. But if you know who you are, you will celebrate as munene that the PDA from there it will be fine. Mr. Man PDA. No, because it's good for them. For me it's a different thing. So it's okay, I was so desperate for this thing of marriage and relationship that we compromise
and we lose ourselves in those relationships and marriages, you know, because I identify in a woman, you know, that's why you go know who you are first, because utakota understand amunumwanyan better. Like Mararukunga TV, as she say, it serves no purpose. Yakuri ubaga that relationship.
It is better to find yourself in a failed relationship than to find yourself in a failed marriage.
Yes,
you can have lots of failed relationships, is fine, but a failed marriage, being divorced, it cuts so deep. It's a very painful thing because no one gets into the marriage with the view that tomorrow I want to divorce. Nobody. they all get in the marriage because until death do
Yeah.
us part.
Mm.
And then somehow in between, death doesn't do you part, instead divorce does.
Adultery do you part.
Yeah, and you need to heal from
You
that.
need to heal. You need to heal. And the healing process here, divorcing, undermine.
The lifetime.
Undermine so much. I always say, in a divorce process, there are two characters. Local divorce. There is the one that we call the walk away. There is the one that we call the left behind.
It also depends on which side you are.
And the walk away, that person has emotionally divorced long time ago. Long by the
Just
time
the
by the
process.
legal side. That's why kawo wala divorce until yena mzuku. Then the left behind is the one who believes hayi man kana mtshato. Kamtshato uyele khale 3 years ago. Now we are just legalizing this thing.
Okay.
There are two characters in a divorce. Kuna the walk away, kuna the left behind. And the left behind one, utangona yi utaringeta kula kusave a marriage. Even when the other one is filed, but a delay akatsongo, baby love the walk away spouse. You divorce anyone if you don't understand. It's because they're left behind. They're still clinging to the possibility that this thing is going to work. And then in actual fact, I'm at the same path, same level. And the worst thing that you can do as they walk away to the left behind is to make a promise that is not there. Because it's reality. So I'm baby, no baby. It's reality.
One
Rand, because they're not lying. It's like this thing, we can still save it. When it's something that particular person. And they exhibit themselves in different characters. But then the most difficult and the dangerous aspect of the whole thing is go through the 5 stages, the healing process. The queen, it's a process. The left behind, the denial phase, they stay a lot of time there. That denial.
They can't let go.
They can't let go. They walk away, probably denial. He gained it 3 years ago. Through the emotional divorce process until they made up their mind. Okay, there's no marriage here. By the time I got a legal route, denial. They are actually going forward. The next phase, their anger. It's way too dangerous for the left behind. In the sense, realize in actual fact this is happening. They become so vindictive, they become so aggressive, all the anger comes out. So you need to be very careful.
So it's easy for the one who left.
They walk away.
So you are called walk away because emotionally you have detached. You may still be married legally, but emotionally there is no marriage. So when you go through divorce, there are emotions that we go through. We generally summarize them into 5 stages. So the first stage is denial that we've spoken about, which is difficult for. It's mainly the stage where the left behind spouse dwells a lot in. Because the walk-away spouse, emotionally they've detached long time ago. The second stage is anger. So even the walk-away spouse does go through the anger process. In which sense? Because it's the time where you start to look back and start to blame yourself. You know, why I did this, why did I allow that, this stupid person and all of those things. You know, you need to allow yourself to feel those things. For the left behind spouse, it becomes more difficult because sometimes their anger can be shown in a physical level. They can become vindictive, they can become violent, they start to blame you and so forth. So what we recommend is if you are the spouse who is experiencing this thing, don't take those things lightly. That's where we do find people getting killed during that time. And if you are the left behind, try to find help. Try to find a counselor or a therapist or priest to talk to help you contain, because you may find yourself doing more damage than what is anticipated. Then the third stage is what we call bargaining. So in the bargaining space, you start to sink in, the reality starting to sink in, and that's where the what-if scenarios, especially for the left-behind spouse, you know, if maybe I did not cheat, maybe this would have happened. If I bought flowers, maybe this, maybe if I, you know, so you start to bargain a little bit. Those who believe, you know, believe in God or whatever, that's where they start to make a deal with God. You know, if you can change your heart, God, I swear I'm going to give you my tithe, 10%, or I will go to church, I will pray. They start to bargain in that phase. Then the fourth space is depression. And then there is where you're dealing with the emotions now. In the anger stage, they are outside. You start to, you know, they exhibit them outside. But in that phase of depression, it's inward. You find people now isolating. If they used to have this couple sessions where they go, they're friends who maybe they used to be a couple kind of a thing, they withdraw. They no longer don't want to do that anymore. They don't want to go to parties and all of those things. If you battle to get out of that as well, please find help. Find help, because we do find people committing suicide through depression. The final stage is acceptance. And the acceptance is when you make peace with, you know what, it is what it is. Let me start to look forward. Let me accept the situation. So in a nutshell, those are the 5 stages. Some people make them longer, but it's easier if you summarize them into 5 stages.
So how long can that take you?
It depends. It depends from one person to the next person. It depends where you at, what are your coping mechanisms. I would highly advise that find people that are reliable. And I cannot emphasize or overemphasize reliable, trustworthy. Some people are there because they you don't want people like that. You want people who are genuine, will listen to you, will contain your feeling. And you don't want people who will tell you what you want to hear. They need to tell you what you need to hear. They must tell you the hard truth in a very subtle manner. Because there you can start making wrong decisions, and that's why sometimes people start dating and doing all these funny things, because they don't want to deal with the emotions. So I don't want to deal with the emotions, or I'm depressed. Now I go out, I sleep with whoever I date.
You must close this gate before you open the next one.
So you need to for some people it's very quick, especially if you walk away. You have dealt with this thing long time ago. So by the time you go the legal route, and tomorrow we see you with someone else before. So the society won't understand. They'll say, this person just died. In actual fact, you divorced 3 years ago. You were just doing the paperwork now. And so that's why it depends from one person to one person. How you heal in the process of divorce is very, very important. Acknowledge your emotions. It is okay. If you feel like you want to cry, cry. If you want to get a punching bag and want to punch a butt, get a punching bag and punch. Don't deny yourself. If you're angry, if you feel like you want to verbalize in the bedroom, in the bathroom when you are alone and say, I hate this, say it. Because if you don't say it now, you are going to say it to your future spouse. When you see them, you're going to see that person. So acknowledge your feelings, deal with them. Make sure that you've got some hobbies that you enjoy. Keep yourself physically fit. We are not saying exercise to lose weight. Physically fit, because emotions and your physical health, they go together. They go hand in hand. Make sure that you are physically fit. If you like reading, read. Find some time doing things that you like. If you like meditating, meditate. You know, if you want me time, have me time. So take care of yourself. It can actually be a beautiful regeneration phase of rediscovering who you are. If you actually utilize it effectively. Find a support system, people that you talk to, people that you trust. If you feel you are dwelling much in emotions and you feel that now you are becoming a danger to yourself, meaning you have suicidal thoughts, try to find a professional person to help you. Or you are having thoughts of, now I want to kill that person. Sometimes it does cross your mind, but you're not going to act on them. But if you start now really acting on them, try to find out. Now you want to act and eventually, if you allow yourself to go through the process, you do accept it.
And heal.
You do accept it and heal and be able to move forward. But don't shortchange yourself when you go through the healing process.
So in other words, divorce is so painful. It's very painful, and you find people bending backwards in order to save their marriages.
Yes.
What's your take on that, Sis Minene?
Yes, leswi sesilidya va nga swi vula i ntiyiso. vavulavule timhaka ta ti walk away. And truly, sometimes don't undermine the walk away. That's dangerous. So I just want to come to bending over backward in order to save your marriage. Go fika ka situation leyi ka marriage. Mingena loko mingena. Both of you have sacrificed. That is the first thing. And then sacrifice, it was for both parties, husband and wife, so that you can get happiness in your marriage. You have compromised yourself. Your uniqueness, your happiness to be with this person. Even your family. That is a compromise. That is a compromise that you have made. And then you are so excited. You really that maturity. And then you are looking forward. Within 2 years, got that marriage, things changes. Remember, the first 5 years, you expect honeymoon stage. And if one spouse drifts apart, meaning the load is being carried by one person. And if you look at society, who will carry that load is us women. Because ningene not the expectations. Ningene na hope. Babu releases Lydia. Loko ngena katini angangeneli temakata kontakhela nitawoma mnduku. I vowed. I said, up till death do us part. In sickness and in health. Ansithamani baza so udrifte apart. So unikomba yini.
So would you say that in the most cases, men are the ones who walk away, or am I just...
Most of the time, I'll come to that. A small of my personal experience. Ni randa ngofu temakata kubiyela ka society. Ni ti randa ngofu. Lapta kuniketa a situation whereby you are married to a person of a different culture of yours. Usungule ukwenza you have compromised yourself. Udonda culture yena, udonda the values taye. And then so uhanya in according to his values, so that you can fit in his society. You have compromised yourself. You have compromised yourself for doing that in that marriage. So loko asungula mitolobele kuba meba merishime. Se wasamala manje, the person is drifting apart. And you don't want to talk about it. And then loko usungula ungithamisa hansi, you know what? The house is empty. What I was speaking in polite way. The way ungranda koyona. You know, I miss you. Unimisa yini kunokusiyana khadi. Anlabi khadi, nilava wena. I want you. The house is empty. The house is empty. Anubuli furniture. I need that intimacy. The warmth. Yeah, the warmth. Your presence, kuba umuva amahlweni kamina. It makes me complete about it. And now we are drifting apart. And then, because mina ningene nerna hope, nerna kuthemba, mina anishtup kur loko angena abkatini, mina natitiva kur andaba yini. Lula anishtup kur unidzele kur ulava abkati ledzi kufika kwini. Was this is, I cannot read his mind. Undzele kur hitava hiriswin'we, niutsembile. Iba asungula ku drifta apart. Loko neheta, I take the blame. The blame leyi nga va kona futhi nele bibeleni. Mako Eva yena nga shisa inyoka. Hina vavasati, hi sungula we judge ourselves. Ku ri kumbexana namuntlha a ni sweka ni teke nkarhi ku sweka. Nduku u sweka a nga se pfuka, a ku namuntlha a ni lavi vuswa. Wendla matandza a ku namuntlha ni lava ku dya. And hinkwaswo swakudya leswiya swi ta dya hi wena. Because you love him.
And you're trying to make things work.
Exactly. Ibo utlhelela a ni ri kwalaya elevukatini ni na my mother-in-law. Ni ku mhani loko swi ri so loko swi nga tshamisekangi swilo hi endlisa ku yini. Va ku na hina hi swi kumise leswi. swi vula ku ri yini you have to compromise bekezela wa swi twisisa bekezela so it's up to an individual wa swi twisisa ku ri na huma kumbe na tshama na but hi ku ya hi mina you cannot fix anything that is broken it needs energy. And if you keep on putting more effort on it, you're gonna crash. Because at the end of the day, I've got nothing to give. I've got nothing to give.
So you're losing yourself.
You are using yourself for this person. That is why minkarhi yo tala ka society leyi hi le ka yona. Vavasati hi kwatile and a hi tikombi. Hi ku ni nghene la ni investile loko ni tlhelela kaya va ta ku yini loko ni huma akaya va ni humese hi twist va ku leri I bokisi ra wena leri u nga ta ya fa hi rona avukatini hi Sepedi va yi veka kahle va ra livitla la musadi ke bogadi swi vula ku loko u humile la a wa ha tlheleli ndzhaku se ku crucify-wa mani wena I nge le ndzeni ka vukati do justice hi vukati lebyi ene a bya ha ri kona wa twa loko u tshamile sharing ka information sharing u twa wansati a ku you know what la ni tshamile vukati a bya ha ri kona ni tshamele vana va mina ku kurisa vana va mina yena u kona hikuva I papa wa vana I just want to give you a electoral and personal experience loko na ha ku nghena wa vona you are excited expect a honeymoon stage sweswi ni nga vula yini hayi swilo a swa ha ri tano phela hayi ke tigere se ti cincile phela manje.
You left there for how long?
You lost it 3 years. Se ni vutisa lava va khale va ri ndlela u yi vutisaka lava va khale se ni vutisa sesi wa mina a ni ri bridesmaid ya yena a ka mucato wa yena ni ra imani sesi mani loko swilo swi va so ku endlisiwa ku yini n'wana le kaya u hatle u rila mina ni na 35 years ni tekiwile mara ni ve na intimacy ya 10 years 25 years 35 years 25 years leyi n'wanyana nuna wa mina a ni n'wi tivi kambe u kona la kaya
se mi ti roommate
sesi mi tshamele yini oh ni tshamele vana ene a nga kona la wa yi vona enga ku ri yile kwini a nga kona la nga ta nghena la ni tirhe ngopfu ku ri ni muti lowani wu yima ni xi tirhele ngopfu xivongo lexi wa swi twisisa ku ri munhu loyi u luze yini u luze self esteem wa swi twisisa se na mina ni kwalaya wa swi twisisa ku ri leswi va ni byelaka swona ene hi leswi a ni nga lavi ku swi twa mina a ni lava ku ta tiva ku ri nyangwa hi wu pfula ka njhani ku ri u humela handle u bela hi moya because I'm suffocating but truly as I've indicated ku ri loko u ri n'wana wa Xikwembu loko Xikwembu a xo ku twisa ku va endzeni ka ndilo xi tlhela xi ku humesa ni kote ku huma ni huma hi leri nge yini se ni hlayeriwe nkarhi 24 months ni nghenile kasi vana va darini nga ku swa tikanyana phela la loko ku ve n'wana a wu nkumi ha swi kota ku ri hi kuma un'wanyani loyi a kumaka vana.
That's another pressure that
ivi vana lava va ta va ri vana va la kaya a ni ku loko se swi tatani maseve a hi ngo pfula byi hola va ku hawu kasi loko mi nghena a va mi hlamuselangi ku ri hi xika hina swi endliwa hi ndlela leyi believe you me loko va ni byela hi ndlela yaleyo munhu se a ri kona munhu se a ri kona and I've invested ka this family ni investile swinene loko ku ta va na family meeting ivi ndzeriwa kahle ku ri ndlela leyi mi fambaka maseve leyiwani leyi ya hi khomeleta leyiwani lava hi lava va nga ta n'wina mi nga ta report ka vona mantsongo ene i swilo leswi hi chavaka ku swi vulavula leswiwani hi nga laviki ku swi vulavula mantsongo se va kona se futhi wena a ni ri a wu hamba u ta hi ti-holidays i ta vona mamazala se sweswiwani i ta report ka mantsongo na mali loko i hoxa se i ta hoxa ka mantsongo hi yena a nga ta ku khomela a ni ri wena i le joni lava ve le makaya a ku ri na timhaka teto mina a ni tshama hala joni and then my mother in law a ri emakaya ivi sesi loyi a ku ri yena a faneleke a ta hlayisa muti se kambe munhu loyi a faneleke a n'wi hlayisa hi mina you know Xikwembu xi tirha mihlola sisters I just want to tell you mina I'm going to be honest with my personal life loko hi vuya ka family meeting it was normal with my husband ku ri vutomi byi fanele byi ya mahlweni a ku humelelangi nchumu ku ri ri mbaseke ku fika kwihi no va ndzi byela kahle ku ri a ni replace-iwangi i timhaka ta ku nga ku swa hlwelanyana kumbe swi nga endleka ni nga vi na n'wana believe you me mina ni vone ku ri I need to say this after a month la a hi rente kona yindlu it was on Saturday ni nge rivali my husband a fika na truck he took everything leswi a swi kona andlwini because a ku ka mina ni endlela loyi a nge le kuteni sa a n'wi xavele sayiti mina na ha rindile ku ri ni xaveriwa yindlu he moved out of the house a ni nga ri na matimba ya ku lwa a ni lwangi because I was emotionally drained and I wasn't aware or I'm emotionally drained because ana ha ri ku investeni and ana ha ri na matimba and ni ngene ni ri prepared for I'm financially independent and then this is what I want and then you commit this family orientated man because this is I nga doubt nchumu kwalaho ku ri rhandzu ri kona and i ta ni hlayisa but Xikwembu xi tirha hi ndlela yin'wana hi lo ni vulaka ku ri ku fana na gold ku ri yi ta va gold yi hundza hi le ndlwini yi swekiwa ivi yi ta va a pure gold loko hi vona laha yi se yi sasekile yi suka yi huma andilweni na mina ni nghene ka pani yaleyo ku va ni nga lwangi vamakwerhu to be content swa pfuna wa tiva ku huwa nkarhi wun'wanyana yi ku yisa hansi ku na swilo swin'wanyana a wu fanelangi u swi lwela a swi fanele swi yima after a month ku nghena maphorisa laha a ni sele kona ka yindlu leyi a yi ri empty nga ri ku na nchumu yi nga ri na furniture va ta ni landa va ku hi wena Patricia Maluleka and then I said yes va ku nuna wa wena was involved in an accident well mina ni hleketa accident ya ku i chayisile a ndleleni vavasati this is a women's month we need to be realistic in these situations leti hi hlanganaka na tona a ni khandziya amovheni va ku ka mina no u vaviseke ngopfu at the end of the day lako ta identify movha ku ri wa yi tiva na a va ni nyiketi ti-details how loko se hi famba mani na vona ku ri ndhawu leyi hi yaku eka yona hi le mitini loko hi fika the house is surrounded by red tapes there are police there the community around there people va tele hamanyukuta na maphorisa my in-laws are there hi vona va nga n'wi byela ku ri famba n'wi landa nsati wa yena hina hi tiva yena va tiva mina loko ni fika u dlaye n'wana wa vanhu u tidyele na yena I'm telling you ni fanele ni ta identify I was called by my in-laws because I had to take again I had to sacrifice myself to bury him bending again and you know what I did so that I can have closure and then move on with my life ni kota ku nghena ka healing process and I'm not angry about anybody indlela leyi a ni fanele ni yi hunda eka yona that is the experience leyi a ni fanele ni yi hunda leyi kombaka ku ri how much can you sacrifice ka relationship if the other party is not appreciating that person is taking an advantage of you.
And in the most cases, problem
Exactly. And when una problem, and then we put blame on us. And then ulava usawusungula kulavisisa kuri ni endle yini. And you know, small things let's us end up. Uri drobeni anga expect khona wena. Usungula ku mufonela. Ani hleketa ku xava xinkwa xo basa. Akona xi dyi xinkwa xo basa. Ni dya xa brown. Loko u fika ndlwini u kuma xinkwa a xavi xinkwa xo basa lexi a nga ku tshikisa xona. That's how life is. So sweswiwani loko u languta vavasati vo tala loko u languta hi na ti-program ta vo ufelana vavasati va vavisekile munhu a tibyela ku ri wa sala njeni laha ni ta huma hi bokisi hi timhaka ta yini a ni helo u ni wastele nkarhi a ni ta va ni ri kule because u teke loko se u vula sweswo mani ku ri ni ta huma hi bokisi u teke yini you have taken your pride. Well, understand that? So you have flushed your self-esteem. There's nothing that is left with you. You don't know who you are. That is why you don't have that strength to pull out of this situation. Here was what if. And what if u hleketela munhu un'wanyana so u lava ku hleketela hi munhu un'wanyana loko un'wanyana a ku ka wena huma a hi leswi u lava ku swi twa a wu lava ku swi twa sweswo u ri ni ya kwihi and u fanele ti-opportunities ta wena a yi kona nkarhi wa right nkarhi wun'wana na wun'wana lowu nga ta huma hi wona nkarhi wa right to save your life.
And ani loko va ka mhaka yin'wanyana vavasati va ku tala a va humi until va siyiwa.
Exactly.
So it's in us.
And then it's either wahuma wasiwa kwanani utava uri safe. You die.
So you are lucky if wakusiya.
Exactly, if wakusiya. And so uchava nako endlele. And this is one chava. So when there's a stranger in the house. There's a stranger in the house. Say ichava nako bula kuri mina sen nako fama. It needs a strong woman, a brave woman to say, it's enough, I'm done, it ends here.
So ladies, with all that being said, marriage sometimes becomes sour and things go bad. What would you say to someone who still wants to get married in this situation?
The belief, if you have it, like marriage kungabisi sophostereo, you know, like mina I tell people kuri unganang sususwale next door because we tiril naswa mina starter. Each and every one of us, we have our own journey, and then if journey yangwena iya kuri utafa uchatile, let it be. And enjoy. I mean, marriage is a blessing after all. But you honor ibanu, you honor imunu, because we are sinners. We're living in a sinful way, like world. And mara lokukuruku ukatekisiwile mchato, enjoy it. And then laba kukungena, young couples that are like want to to sacrifice and go into that marriage, because it takes two to tango. Like that thing you did. You cannot find someone angalabi kukungena ka marriage na lala kungena marriage and then me join for a fake ya kore hey jati, because people now they're getting big weddings but forgetting about the marriage itself, because it's an institution where we learn every day. Believe you me, I'm still learning from my husband a lot of things. Like he's still showing me we're not perfect. I just want to emphasize, it's two imperfect people who are trying to make things work. And if mirnang ateko wakuri mi communicator, wakuri mi understandana, nakuri mi respectana, the values tamwena ninga step over, ni take over kuri, I'll control this man. And he'll control me. It will work. And it will work perfectly. And I could look kukuruku mijatili kukahle akuolobiwe. Haoloba. Mr. Mabele sometimes anganbula bris. Nukoho tambona. I know kuri isusinsanana lesu inga speak sako. But it doesn't mean kuri loku nuku I'm happy ka marriage mina. It's like everything, it's like nikumati roses I'm bedouin lokunpuka. It's not about that. And I finally missed it's ku bula kur we happily married when we're flashing cars, when we're flashing our attires, when we're flashing, because that is fake in the society of social media. Social media, I cannot pose with my husband at Tupurili. I search for a perfect smile. And then when I saw a judge marriage, queen of the main house, this is my lane. Stick to yours. If one know when I ukuranda differently, angaikati photo shoot, stick to that. If wamina what to Sakuri, we can still go to photo shoot, we can still go like yakakakakati joyride naine. It's our lane. You know, we must stop comparing ourselves or to other marriages out there, because people they're not living their true reflection. Mimetile, you can pay the sotar. But mina I'll say to young couples, go and enjoy yourself in a marriage. Marriage is still a blessing. I love it. It's something that, like, fanele uyingisela rito ra Xikwembu ri vulavula na wena ku ri this is the man. But naloku sunga tirangi, don't lose yourself for the sake of a marriage, because Yileka Women's Month, women has lost themselves. I repeat what they say. Emphasize let us walk tall. I'm still the queen, irrespective of my marital status. I am still Eggy. And you will still remain Eggy lokukuruku una background or una something shokomeka, which is ninge chavi kubulaka my audience kore background ya shikolo ya pona. Answer, because you're not depending on that abusive man. You know, I can see he can move anytime and I can still stand, and then kunga bunakalichu. Mara ikomelela kati marriage da fake, kati marriage to kati ngatiri, kati marriage leti kunga people they have long divorced. Bakabatlela in the same house or separate bedroom, they're not touching each other. You know, and then uspitana marriage, you cannot call that a marriage. You know, warnankateko loku ukumakore, you still, it's me. Minaniti bula wankateko, because the lane, I'm not comparing myself na makelwana. I don't have a friend who don't go when I come to na mi bati round tengani. It's not about that. You know, it's about us. Like kuri twisisana, you communicate anjani. A marriage is a beautiful institution, and then let us encourage laba balaba kungena kurbangena. Mara like lokuru abalabi kungena. I've got a daughter. She tells me every day, kuri, if I were to marry, I want to marry a man like my dad.
Wow.
You know, if he's not like you, Papa, I'm not gonna marry. You know, so it means there's something that the dad is like he's doing as a parent. This was right for you. You know, so but ur angachati ninga mfoste kur nalukanga foto khantos nukuyateko kamanwena. There's no way was to say that it doesn't define my daughter. My daughter has to be defined by the building kuba ati kurisenjani kuri ukule alaba kuba yini. Uta define kuba an accountant, uta define so this one gas jonela. You know, and then we must stop shaming people who are not because we feel threatened. Loku yibona bosesi baso bangena kerekeni barikiswa nabo Mr. Mabele. Bakhethi naloku kuruku na position kerekeni. And whereas ikareti bakuri, this woman, she's a leader. There's a leader in her, but because of angana nona sideline, because of voice ya yena I say mujaja a personal life, marital status, nakuba ari abashiro like again aseva. Sometimes those women, they can serve better than us. You know, our plate is full as women, as married people. You know, ngakumakur unankara adabanankari wakur ayenda swilu better than wenunga chat. So let's not judge each other because of our marital status. It's good when you're married. Enjoy it. But ungafambi ubula bula kure. She's not worthy because she's not married. She's not worthy. She's divorced. She's not worthy. She doesn't have a kid. You know, I think that's one thing in common. in Kwerkaina, it's because we've got one child each. Am I lying? I don't know whether I don't have bebula or okay, it's a topic for another day. But let's not identify another woman with her suffering, because to be divorced is not nice. It's not nice. Kuba ungarnangwana, it's not nice. You know, to be rejected, it's not nice. But we have to embrace each other. Her pain, look ataka mina ndlela pain yena. Fanele nungahakara. Nuku all will be well.
So while we're still on that topic, how do you keep the fire burning in the main house?
Yo, ka main house kanandia. Yeah, the thing ikuri we like I pretend ibuyina. My character, not his character. I think it complements each other. And then susota like kurabula ne and ni free kubula shimwana kanunwamin. And then the humor in our marriage, it has a big impact. My marriage, my husband, he's an introvert, anga bulabul, but he's more corrupt than me.
When you're together.
When we are together, you know, and then it's just like we never get like bored with each other because we've got our hobbies. Like we read books together, like we watch movies. If Uranda Bukela soccer, I join him. We do things together. There's a book that Sis Lydia once borrowed me. Never leave your partner behind in everything you do. And then that it keeps us going because in everything that we do, we don't leave each other. Whether be it finances, whether be it like family, like, you know, if he's taking care of my family, I'm taking care of his family. It's a vice versa, you know. And Ishishakure, yiba honest to how we feel about issues. And chabi ku address the issues kayena, letini laba kukure the addresser. And then the most exciting part, I'm still enjoying his love making. And it like one kumakuru ako I mina sendo tsamantsene ka raba nchu ane mumuteka una chukele ako make so like mara iti makata kuri we have grown so much, like, and then understand kuri what is it that he loves and what is it that I love, you know. And it's a to landring, and then we do susotala together. So utakuna loka uma ansiana manmi, you know. So we always holding each other's hand, and it keeps us going because it timagata kuri kuhaba kuri utaenda aigadan. But we want to complement each other. What is your husband saying? Video believe you me, before I post, I send him those videos. I send it like he supports me, and then like he in everything, like relationship one supporter, honestly. So it's complementana, benda, because sungaendla kukumakuru angasurandi, but because mina I love that, you know, that glamour. Ukela Africa ngena anyway, suranda insatwa mina. Let me not close this. And then always he encourages me, no suswan, because ubulabla nabanu, go and register. We are the psychologist in mentorship, you know, and you see, like it's couples to spice up. Too like no, he doesn't say he just want to do this thing professionally. Like if ulabak sungula punabano, do it in my paper, you know, baby. Ungakuwena life coach ya mahala, but not promise about. That's what is saying. Don't wait in to register. He gave me money to register. So you see, we complimenting, we supporting, we like the dreams that mean kurtiva reality. It's because of him. He supports. And another yena kurtu melela. It's support. It's a two-way thing. So that's how we keep everything. Iba life and then I kuna busy corner lava kunga tsamba sispeed. I said, but I'm not going to speak on this couch. yeah, like naku timhaka ta ku ri we teasing and then make everything as a joke ya ku ri baby namuntlha ti vanhu lava ku va cheese na pirates you know ya tipaleni you know loko ku ri na cheese na pirates ku rough nyana ne yeah so i timhaka teto na ku ri we spice up hi swiswa ni le ka pure romance anyway lava nga swi tiviki ni le ka pure romance I've got a pole where I dance sometimes for him and then ku ri nje a tshama tsakile a kha smile and then we go out more often I chavi ku ya ka ti strip club like loko we celebrate about Valentine's birthdays and then we book those places because andavi ku angungumela or ningungumela nyasibona we go and watch it together abona menu and then abuya ta jakaya
So guys, we've come to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to leave you guys with one quote. It goes like this. There is nothing that we as women cannot do as long as we put our minds into it. I love you so much. Bye.